Most economists say that the country that leads the new green economy will lead the next world economy. As a member of Congress, I'm calling for a moratorium on any new coal plants. Number two, to really to ratify the Kyoto Treaty so that we start really bringing down global emissions. And number three, that by 2014 we take the $150 billion that we gave to AIG and give the same amount at least to investing in renewable energy.
Right on.
What we know is if we invest in tough times, we as taxpayers invest, not only do we set the table, not only do we put people to work, laborers and architects and engineers, but then we can compete in the global economy. We've underinvested in our country for years now. My first major accomplishment on City Council was to pass public financing for the City of Albuquerque, which took money out of local politics. Many people said it couldn't be done, didn't have a lot of support. I stuck my neck out there, and the voters passed it overwhelmingly. Our democracy is in crisis at all levels, but as long as we keep sending folks up there who become part of the status quo, we're never going to change it. We've got to start electing different kinds of people who are willing to take on these issues. They're tough. They don't get you into the good old boys club, but they're necessary, and I'm happy to take them on. And the first thing I'll do in Congress is continue to lead the fight to overturn, for a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. We have to do it. We have to first and foremost push back on the Ryan budget, which is putting Medicare on the table, and say absolutely not. Medicare is off the table. Not everybody in this race believes that. I believe it has to be off the table, other than going after fraud and abuse, which I think we would all agree on. Social Security, we cannot and we must fight raising the retirement age for our seniors. You know, that's just crazy. But the one change I would support would be to remove the cap on Social Security taxes for folks making $160 grand more. I'm proud to be from a family of veterans. My dad, my grandfather, my sisters, my brothers. So we need to fight to not just send them into battle, but when they come back to take care. I'm very proud that on City Council, Martin Heinrich and I worked very closely to get the minimum wage increased over opposition, not just from Republicans, but from folks in our own party. And I got to tell you, one of the biggest fights I had on City Council was to save the jobs in a budget crisis of 400 public workers, the folks who pick up our garbage, the folks who work in solid waste. And because the Democrats stuck together, we were able to not have to lay anybody off. We were able to fight that fight for them. American workers are competitive. They just want a fair shake. They just want to compete on a level playing field. And you need congressmen who are willing to take on the fight and frankly are knowledgeable about the issue.
Will the federal government ever balance the budget?
Boy, I hope so. But if we're serious about it, we've got to roll back those tax cuts for millionaires.
Yes.
We've got to close those corporate loopholes. We've got to implement a speculation tax. We've got to end that war in Afghanistan sooner and bring those. We don't want a 60% of with you Democrat or a 70% of the time with you Democrat. What I'm offering you is 100% of the time I'm going to fight for our core values, like protecting Social Security and Medicare, like fighting for green jobs, and for making the 1% and the big corporate multinationals pay their fair share. And that'll be 100% of the time. I ask for your support and for your vote. Thank you all very much for being here.